Happy Holy Hump Day on this May 17th, everyone. I'm Pastor Robert. Welcome to this midweek time where I can share some spiritual thoughts and reflections with you. In just 2 weeks, we will have the annual West Ohio Conference. This year, it will be held at the Dayton Convention Center in Dayton, Ohio. And that's a new location for us. We usually meet at Lakeside, Ohio, along Lake Erie, just this beautiful spot for the West Ohio Conference to meet. But this year, they're trying a new venue there at the Dayton Convention Center. And the West Ohio Conference, when we gather, it consists of the clergy in the West Ohio Conference as well as laity that represent the roughly 900 United Methodist churches. And Martha Sloan is our lay representative from Athens First United Methodist Church. So I'll be there with her, along with many, many other people. It can be upwards to 2,000 to 3,000 people gathering at these events. And Bishop Gregory Palmer will be presiding over the sessions. It lasts 3 days, and we look at resolutions that are before us, so we act on those. We also have the commissioning and the ordination of deacons and elders, and we also recognize the retiring class, and I'll be part of that retiring class this year. And I want to share a resolution that was brought up last year at the annual conference, and we're going to hear more about it this year, and we've already heard more about it. It's the redistricting of the West Ohio Conference. So currently, we have 8 districts in our West Ohio Conference. We are, as Athens First United Methodist Church, in the Foothills District here in Southeast Ohio, and the change will be that we will go from 8 districts down to 6 districts, so it'll be more streamlining going on. And they're changing the names of the districts. And I just want to go ahead and share with you the names of our districts. The Foothills District will get a new name. And I just want to share the names of these districts because they're based on the rivers and the bodies of water in the West Ohio Conference geographical area. And it's to help us remember our baptism. And I think that's just a wonderful creative idea. And I thank the leadership of the conference that came up with this idea. So I just want to spend a few moments sharing with you the new names of our districts that will take effect on July 1st. So the names of these 6 districts will be the Hocking River District, which will be the name of our district instead of the Foothills District. So the Hocking River District. And the other district names will be the Maumee River District. Then there's the Western Lakes District. They have a lot of lakes there in western part of Ohio. Then we also have the Olentangy River District. And we have the Great Miami River District. And then we'll have the Scioto River District. I really do like these new names for our districts based on different bodies of water in our West Ohio Conference geographical area, because it'll help us to remember our baptism since the theme is water, and it'll help us to also get a better idea of where the districts are geographically since they're based on these different rivers and lakes. So that's going to be happening July 1st. And the other thing that is going to be happening at the West Ohio Conference in a couple of weeks, and this is a sad thing to me because it's going to be the second wave of voting on churches that have voted to disaffiliate from the United Methodist Church. These are churches within our West Ohio Conference. Last November was the first wave of these disaffiliations. There were about 80 United Methodist churches that disaffiliated, and then a number of clergy disaffiliated. And these would be clergy and United Methodist churches that want there to be restrictive language regarding LGBTQ. And I think they just see that eventually at a future general conference, and those are held every 4 years, those are the global meetings that decide on such issues. They just see that being removed, that restrictive language being removed eventually. So they just want to go ahead and leave the denomination because they're more traditional and conservative regarding LGBTQ. So there will be another huge number of United Methodist churches and clergy disaffiliating, and we need to vote That's the last part of the process. We need to vote on their disaffiliation. And they also need to pay 2 full years of apportionments, as well as an amount of unfunded pension liability. And so there is a price tag to this. And plus, their congregations already had their church conference meetings where the membership needed to get 2/3 approval to disaffiliate. And so this is the last part of that process. And then I believe it will take effect July 1st, these disaffiliations. So it's a sad time because, again, there are a lot of these churches I know about, and I have more clergy who are disaffiliating. But I do want to reassure you that Athens First United Methodist Church has every intention to stay United Methodist, because we do want to have a very inclusive, affirming church, especially for those who are in the LGBTQ community. So that's something that we're very committed to. And I know your next pastor is committed to that too. And the leadership board is as well. So wanted to let you know a little bit about our West Ohio Annual Conference that's coming up. I'm sure some of it will be live streamed, because there are also worship services that are held. So you might want to look for that information on our social media pages as we get closer to the date. I invite you to join us this Sunday for worship at either 9 o'clock or 10:30. Also, the live stream on our church's YouTube channel that begins at 10:30. And it's going to be Ascension Sunday, when we remember when Jesus ascended to sit at the right hand of God the Father and to rule over all creation as the King of creation. And we are going to be focusing on the worship theme, the handoff, because Jesus is handing off the ministry to the disciples. So what does it mean to take that handoff from Jesus in living out what it means to be the church? And I just invite you to also pray for our West Ohio Conference coming up in a couple of weeks. Pray for Bishop Palmer as he presides over those meetings. And we appreciate your prayers as we gather at the Dayton Convention Center in just a couple of weeks.